All right, hello everyone. I am here, guys, to do response to Katey Flowers tag, her Terra Oracle tag called Only 10 Decks. And I had to put some boundaries or some rules for myself because I do have quite an extensive collection, and partially because I just wanted to make it easier for myself, but also just because it made more sense to me, was to only select decks that I have worked with for at least 3 months. So decks I've actually connected with for a period of time or more. And what's really interesting, as you guys will find out, is that I only actually have 2 tarot decks out of the 10 decks. And I thought that was really interesting. And I've been contemplating on why I chose more Oracle decks than tarot decks for this tag. And it could just be this present moment. But I found that Oracle decks that I chose offered me something different than what tarot could. Because I think versatility was one of the key points that I realized I was drawn to. How flexible the readings could be with the cards, but also my emotional connection with it. And sort of what practices do I do that the decks can help serve. And there are quite a few practices that I do, which I'll go through as we go along here. But so I just want to start off with the 2 tarot decks that I chose. And the first one is, I've had this deck for about, I would say, over a year, and this is the Golden Art Nouveau deck. Some of you may know this deck. I think it's moderately popular. I do see it from time to time on people's channel, on pick a card readings. I knew that I really wanted a RWS deck, and I was looking at the Borderless Centennial deck, and I just felt I wouldn't really take that. I really didn't want to put that in here. And so this for me is that alternative. I feel this deck has very much stayed true to Pamela Coleman Smith's imagery, but it just has a lot of pop, has a lot of flavor. It's this nice balance of being different than the standard RWS, but also staying true to it. And I find myself using this deck a lot for general readings, romance readings, love readings, and I actually read a lot better with this deck than that Borderless Centennial that I have. And I was pondering about if I should put it in here. So this is my number 1 for my 10 decks only, or only 10 decks tag. And who doesn't love gold gilding, right? And this is the gold gilding that's not too distracting for me. It just adds such a nice, luxurious pop. And I love Art Nouveau style. That is totally up my alley of aesthetics. One of them. All right, so this is my number 1. Number 2, the other tarot deck. This, I believe, a lot of people know. And this is a Prisma Visions. Now, this deck has very much a sentimental value to me. This was a slow burn deck for me. I saw a friend who got this deck and she gave me a reading with it, and I liked it, but I didn't know if it really was for me. I didn't know if it was the art style, or the panoramic view and the sequence of the minors, but I emotionally started to really connect with this deck. And I don't know if you guys pay attention to cards that fly out when you shuffle, those flyers, but this deck really is so poignant, so on the money, on the spot of whatever I'm thinking, whatever my energy is. This deck, it will make cards fly out and make me face whatever it is, or answer whatever it is that I need to see, hear, and know. So this deck, it's dreamy, it's nostalgic. I can use this for shadow readings. I can use this for inner child readings. I can even use this for romance readings. I haven't done that as much, but this deck is just, I don't think I can really never use it ever again. Yeah, it really has a sentimental connection with me. So that is my number 2. Okay, that is my number 2. All right, I'm just gonna start to declutter, organize this a little bit. So number 3, I wouldn't consider this an oracle deck. Some people may, but this is definitely has its own system, which is the Lenormand. And I do have other Lenormand decks, but as I said, guys, with my rules, I only wanted to select decks that I've actually have used extensively. And this is it. Now, the Lenormand is such a great system to use for practical readings and questions. It's very straight to the point, and I really like, I forgot who actually created this, because I believe it's a he, I believe it's a male, who used Pamela Coleman Smith's imagery and then collaged it and created this deck. And I really loved to pair this with the Borderless Centennial, because they both have that vintagey look to them. But also, guys, I actually trimmed the borders and alter this a little bit. But I just think this little Normand, it's so cute. I think the imageries are so simple and to the point. And honestly, this is such a great travel sized deck to carry with you. And I actually do carry this a lot when I go out and when I feel like I'm probably gonna end up giving a reading somewhere. But this deck is just so cute. I don't think I could really part with this because it's simple, it's to the point, it pays homage to Pamela Coleman Smith. It's just a great staple to have if I only had 10 decks. So that is why I chose the Pixie's Astounding Lenormand. And there we go, it's by Edmund Zabrowski. So yes, a male. I'm sorry if I don't mention all the artists' names on here, but I definitely will provide links to these decks. And some of them are actually may be out of print. I know one is definitely out of print here that I'm going to show in a bit, but I'll definitely provide some links in the description box. All right, so on to the 7 Oracle decks I've chosen. Okay, so guys, before I go into this, I want to let you guys know that I have a pretty strong animistic, shamanistic, ancestral practice. I do practice mediumship also, which I tie in with that ancestral shamanic practice. And so I've noticed a lot of these decks have that shamanic energy and theme that fulfills that need within my practice. So I am going to show you guys those first, okay? So this is also another, well, these two are actually really pretty well-known decks. This is such an amazing deck. It's the Shamanic Healing Oracle. This Oracle deck just works with so many combinations. It's one of those versatile decks. I feel like if you're a beginner, or I feel like if you really can only buy 1 or 2 Oracle decks, this is definitely one of them. This deck, it just, and this is also another great pairing for me with the Prisma Visions. But this deck, there's just something very shadowy, worky about it, but also it has these messages, right, that I feel are simple but layered, right? It could be the images, it could be the sense that, okay, this is a card about joy, but where in this image do you sense joy? Oh, maybe it's the butterflies. Oh, so maybe it's the daisies. Maybe this is about spring. Maybe this is about things unfolding, things blooming, right? I don't know. This deck is just a deck that I've used for so long in my tarot reading or oracle reading days, and I just can't really let go of this one if I only had to have 10 decks. And I love the range of concepts, of themes it talks about. It's very general, but in that case, it encompasses a lot of things, you know, from masculine energy to just anger, to duality, to omens, to, you know, honoring your energy. You know, there's a little bit of affirmation type of energy in here, but also that those concepts. And I love concepts, and this deck just really just does it. All right, so that is the Shamanic Healing Oracle. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I was waiting for my neighbors to quiet down a bit. But this is my next shamanic deck, and this is the Shaman's Oracle. This deck is amazing. Now, I also, part of my practice, I work a lot with, as I said, mediumship, where I do communicate with spirits, but also with spirit guides. And oftentimes I don't really need an oracle deck to do a reading for someone else in mediumship, but specifically for myself, where I am more biased, or at times I may not quite sense the purpose or the lesson or the guidance of that spirit guide or ancestor. I really like to grab this deck, because this deck has different categories, from spirits to ancestors to hunters to shamans, and I just think it's nice to pull a card to decipher, what is a spirit teaching me? What is it here to guide me in? And this also plays really nicely to the shamanic practices. And it's just nice to pull one and see what messages they have. And, you know, I don't know if you guys have read the guidebook, but this guidebook is also very amazing too. Let me actually show this. I feel like a lot of this oracle deck actually is in the guidebook. Like, I just think it's beautiful. They have a quote here. There's a description here of, you know, this ancestor, and then there's keywords of here. So, for instance, the ancestor of illusion. I am the ancestor of illusion. I can show you the nature of those things around us. They may appear to be beautiful, but have a darker side hidden behind them. Life has many aspects that seem other than they truly are. My deep insight can uncover the reality behind the surface sheen. I will walk beside you and ensure that you are not led astray by appearances before you reach a true goal or a true resting place. I don't want an ancestor like this. Please, Please. And then, you know, there's a description of the general, you know, again, concepts. I love concepts and themes. And this deck just really meshes those two things together. Concepts and spirit guides or ancestors. You know, I guess what I'm trying to say is archetypes. And I just think this is a great deck. I just think it's a great deck. All right. So guys, that is the Shaman's Oracle, wisdom and guidance from the ancestors. Okay. So those are the shamanic decks I have, and I kind of want to transition to a deck that I do use in shamanic practices, even though it's not titled, or I don't know if the intention was to be used as this, but I really love working with animal energy. Before tarot, before my tarot journey really started to really deepen, I would see clairvoyantly spirit animals everywhere. Around me, around people. I naturally just connect with them. And someone actually once told me that empaths connect with animals. And often they will see animals either as symbols, archetypes, or as spirit guides around people when they're doing readings and such. Which I don't know how valid that is or not. I haven't done any studies on that, but I just wanted to put that out there. That could be one reason of my quite strong connection with animals. So this is a deck that I love to pull, and this is also a pretty new deck to me. I've only been using it for a year, which to me is still new, and this is the Terra Oracle. Now this oracle I eyed for so long, and I got this on Etsy. I still believe it's in print, and if you guys can see this, the edge, I started to edge it and I kind of gave up. But this deck has a lot of cards, and I love a good beefy deck, especially if they're trying to cover a lot of animals. I want definitely more than 50 or 60, and this I believe has around 100 possibly. And I really was drawn to the simplicity of the deck, the cards. It has a really clean sketch, and I love nice sketches. It has a keyword here, and then it has the animal. And I love just pulling it either for, you know, for a lot of things. It's very versatile. Animal energy is very versatile. If it's a romance reading, you know, I could pull a card for what is this person's personality or energy. Or if I want to just straightforward want to connect with animal energy, I want to see what animal has a message for me. Or I could even pull this just for a general reading and not really pay attention so much as this as being a being or an archetype, but more of the energy itself holding a message, and or advice, really. And I really do, this just reminded me, I really do need to finish edging this, but this is such, I just love this deck. So simple, so versatile, beautiful, minimalistic, works within my shamanic practice, my animal connection, maybe even animistic, if I want to say that. But yeah, and this guidebook, I actually don't have it right by me, but the guidebook is also amazing. The guidebook talks about ecosystems, the relationship between one animal and another, and you know, I was actually looking at the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle, but even though I do like that deck, I was looking at this one and that one, I just, you know, I just felt pulled to this, and that's why I chose this deck. And of course it has more animal cards than that, and I do love the chakra system of the Wild Unknown Spirit Animals, but I don't know, I feel I just get better readings with this, really. I just get better readings with this. So yeah, so there, that is that. The Terra Oracle, guys. That fulfills my animal needs. My animalistic needs. All right, so how many more decks do we have? We have one, two, oh wait, we have four. So we're over halfway done here. So I think a good transition actually would be to show you guys a crystal deck that I really love, that I really need, that I really go to when I just need affirmations. And I am a big quote junkie. And one of a big poet or writer that I really love and that a lot of people know is Rumi, and this deck quotes Rumi so much. And I don't actually feel drawn to like the Sacred Creators Oracle, like those type of affirmation decks. This, let me show you guys. This not only gives you the energy of the crystal, right? It also has a beautiful quote around it. Like for instance, for turquoise, it's tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. Chinese proverb, beautiful. I just love most of these quotes in here. I do like this little description here. There is mention of chakras, like for instance, turquoise could be placed directly or worn on the solar plexus. And we just have nice keywords, simple as that. And you know, this deck, I just love pulling from it when I just need like an affirmation, I need a message, or when I'm wondering what crystals should I work with, or you know, what energy is so and so, and it's or maybe what advice do I need? Honestly, what do I need to know? It's just one of those decks, and I love it. Simple as that. All right, so that is that. Lavish, oh my goodness, Lavish Earth Affirmation. Okay, and I believe I got this on Etsy. Okay, and I believe this is still in print, but I may be wrong actually about this one. Okay, so that's that. Now, as I go to, oh, this is a good transition. So I just talked about chakras, right? I'm also really big into chakras because it is one of the energy systems that I clairvoyantly see, clairvoyantly work with. I am a Reiki master. I do also my own form of energy healing, and also currently I'm also studying a bit of shamanic energy medicine. So chakra system, I love how not only do I know it or have a good foundation in it, but it's pretty simple. I've recently been interested in meridians, which come from China, Chinese medicine, but chakra systems, it's a good, since I have a good foundational knowledge, and often when we do readings, we're pulling references that we already know from our memory bank and our unconscious. This deck, the Chakra Insight Oracle, is by far my favorite chakra oracle deck that I've worked with. I agree with a lot of the associations, the keywords in the themes that match the chakra. I did trim this deck, and I kind of wish I didn't, because the bordered edge are different colors, which show you which chakra it is. The only complaint I would have with this is some of the keywords that are on here. But I just think this deck is, it's a staple. Good for pretty much any type of reading it fulfills. Whether you want to know what chakra to work on, what issues or what's causing a blockage in a certain chakra. If you have a blockage in your sacral chakra, what issue is stemming it from? Oh, relationships. Okay, this could be dealing with intimacy, freedom, acceptance, or trust, right? We have self-esteem, solar plexus, emotional balance, heart chakra, gut instincts, solar plexus, choice, another solar plexus, physical health, root. You know, I agree with this deck. I find it reads really easily, and I just love to use it as part of my energy healing practice. So, yeah. So guys, this is my number, where am I? 8? This is my number 8 Oracle deck. The Chakra Insight Oracle. And yes, this is still in print on Amazon, okay? So that is that. So number 9. Okay, let's go here. I feel like this is a good transition. Number 9. So this deck I know for sure right now is out of print. I recently just found out, and I'm actually really happy that I got it before it went out of print, which sort of makes sense because I saw that he was doing a sale. I believe the creator of this deck is named Bernard Charles, and this is the color Mage Oracle. Now, really interestingly, I will never say never, but for a long part of my life, I've never been that attracted to color. Energetically, visually, I do have an art background. I always loved black and white. Ink, graphite, charcoal, I loved it. But in the past, I would say 4 or 5 years, my response and connection to color has grown and grown and grown. And I believe a lot of it has to do with, you know, my interest in chakras and my working with chakras, right? The 7 chakras, Roy G. Biv, color. And so this deck, which does have a guidebook, which is online, which I wish I had, but I know from seeing other YouTubers, it does have a chakra system built into it. But I really, this deck is amazing. I love the cardstock. I love how many cards it is, because I mean, this is not all the colors that exist. There are more colors than we have even discovered, but it gives a very nice range. And the only complaint I would have is some cards could be a little hard to read, and I notice it's most of like the neutral colors. And you know, with this deck, sometimes I do read the color of it or the keywords, but a lot of times I just like to look at the color and feel the energy of the color, because color is really just a vibration, and that can tell you so much. Like for instance, like for this card, I wouldn't associate this with a dragon, right? Power and legacy, but I can see why, you know. There is a strength to this deep green. But if I was just to read this based upon, I don't know, in the context of, let's just say, what is the current energy of this person? You know, I might get this feeling of stability or some sort of strength. And that would lead me on to other feelings and thoughts or visions that come up, right? I love this is one of my favorite colors. This actual card actually comes up a lot. And this deck, interestingly, a lot of the same colors pop up. It's like this deck knows exactly which color I need to work with. And I feel like just looking through these cards and seeing what colors or shades of colors you're attracted to, I feel like it might indicate, you know, maybe a chakra that needs to be healed or not. It's just a great around deck. You know, you can use this for general readings, you can use this for love readings. I think just colors just work really great for a lot of things, and obviously for healing practices too. So that fulfills my need for color, okay, in my life, okay. All right, so, and I've had this less than a year, by the way, guys. Okay, so this last deck, guys, number 10, we are at the end here. This is the newest deck I have. I am going to bend my rules a little bit because I have not had this for more than 3 months, but I have used this for a good amount of time within that last, I would say, 2 months. And it is the Minimalist Oracle deck, which I got on Etsy. This deck, not only is the card stock beautiful, it's like, it reminds me a lot of that Prisma Visions matte card stock, but this deck, again, so versatile. And I feel like a lot of these Oracle decks I've chosen are just so versatile. And they just get me, they get the reading, they get the question. And for this one specifically, I feel like it's a deck great for advice. It has a good range of concepts. It's simple. I feel like the cards, okay, you're best, right? It's general, but within the context of a question, I don't know, there's something it draws out of me, whether it's the color of the symbol or shape, whether it's the direction that it's going, right? You know, the images may be a bit abstract for some people, but for me, it works. It works for me. It makes me not think too much too. And, you know, obviously with the name of the Oracle, the Minimalist, yes, is very minimal, but I feel like it does what it needs to do. And isn't that so cute? I love that. That just puts me back in kindergarten. Yeah, and I love these like random cards. Like if you guys saw that one, like found object. It's kind of random, but you know, in the context of a reading, you know, it could be something here. I love that. Mystery. Look at that. I don't know. Current consciousness. Beautiful. Oh, inner work. I don't know, this deck is just so cute, so simple. And if I think about, I don't know what else, you know, I don't think can be really replaced right now by any other deck that I have. But that's why I chose it, guys. All right? And this one I believe is still in print. But yeah, so, you know, guys, thank you so much for hanging in there if you guys did. These are the 10 decks that I currently would have if I had to only pick 10 decks right now. And definitely it's going to change just knowing myself, knowing how many other decks there are. But these would be the decks I have, and they all fill a different need of mine, a different interest, different part of my practice. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. It's always great if you guys like and subscribe or comment down below. I'll be interested in see if you guys know some of these more obscure Oracle decks, or if you guys have any of those decks, what your guys' top 10 would be. But yeah, all right. So much love and light to you guys. I'll see you guys back for whenever I do another video. All right. And thank you, Katey Flowers. All right, for this great VR. All right.